ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the OTS News. I am Mean Marky D. Pile driving geeks. This is 1973. The biggest mark in the IWC. We are coming to you live from the OTS venue, man. It's happy hour. What's everybody drinking tonight, bro? Something light. It's supposed to be fall, man. It's like 75 degrees outside. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I went for a walk earlier this morning, got a cup of coffee. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Yo, Summer, you want to go away? I want to enjoy my pumpkin spice latte. JD's going to be going over the news in just a little bit, man. Some people are already asking, oh, well, why is JD going live in the afternoon? He's not going to be here this weekend, man. He's going away. Typical. JD's going away on vacation to go get drunk. Jeez, what is he, fucking, what is he, 21? Got gray in his fucking, he's got more gray in his beard than ever before, man. He's fucking going on vacation to drink. Where's he going, Dana? Where's he going? Ireland, Dublin, right? The fuck wants to go over there, man? Jesus Christ. What's gonna happen to the venue? Are we closing down for a week? What are we doing? Oh, it's only five days. What? Jesse wants the keys to the building. Get the fuck out of here. Jesse's not getting the keys to the building, man. Titus wants the keys to the building. What, so he can burn the fucking thing down? Anyway, JD's going on vacation this coming weekend, man. That's why he's going live. He wants to keep you fine people updated, okay? Do you mind? Anyway, we got the news coming up. Hopefully you guys got a cold beverage or two on hand. I'm about to play another banger, man. You guys know this one. Sit back, relax. JD's coming on live in just a little bit. I am Mean Marky D. And this is OTS News.
Just fake it. I only know how to pull myself apart. I never thought I could explore. Spite of all the scars, it's over now. Run away, out of time. Find a place where I can never hide. I let it run, or even try. Let it
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going?
Me, Marky D, what the fuck you doing, bro? I'm live on air, man. You want to interject on me, bro, right? Jesus, I can't wait to get the fuck on vacation, man. What's going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. It is October 12th, 2022, and we are going to go over today the week's news, man. That's right. I'm not going to be here this weekend. I'm actually taking a few days off. And that is the reason why for the live stream this afternoon, because I want to make sure you guys have enough content. And I want to make sure you guys are completely covered on everything that's going on in the community. So that's the reason for the live stream today, man. Double dipping. We'll be live later tonight as well for AEW Dynamite. And I'll be live with Jesse. Big show tonight. AEW's in Toronto. It's going to be a big show. Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson. They will be in the main event for the Ring of Honor World title. That story is continuing. Jericho pretty much disgracing the Ring of Honor Championship and the brand. All kind of setting Daniel Garcia up for the Ring of Honor World title, I believe, at the end of that story. So that's going on tonight. Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus. And we got a bunch of other surprises tonight on Dynamite. I think we'll see Renee Paquette as well make her AEW debut. I know her name was in the news as of a week ago with Jon Moxley signing a 5-year contract to AEW. So I do think that we end up seeing her join the brand, which I think will be a great thing for AEW. But we are live, and we will go over the news, and we will get you guys covered on everything. I will not be here this weekend, so I'm not sure what's going on. I'd like to do a podcast before I go on vacation, but Saturday's looking like it may be the day for the podcast, depending on how much news there is. If not, there will be a video before I fly out. Sunday, I won't be here. Monday, I will not be here. So there will be no Monday Night Raw review. Tuesday, Dynamite will be preempted from Wednesday to Tuesday. So that's the Cincinnati show. That's Moxley versus Adam Page for the World Championship. I will not be here for that Tuesday either. So you guys are going to have to find some other way to pretty much stay covered on everything. But Jesse, I think, is doing a review. So I welcome you guys to go over to his channel and go check him out. I think he said he's going to do something potentially. So if I'm not going to be around, I would definitely suggest go watch Jesse. If you guys want at least one half of the dynamic duo on Wednesday night next week. I'll be back on Thursday. And then as soon as I get back, I think after everything that goes on during the week, we'll go live for a big show on Thursday. So you guys have that to look forward to. I appreciate you guys' support. No, not Denise. No, nobody's going to go watch Denise. I don't think anybody from here watches Denise anyway, so I'm not worried about my audience going over there. Solid Monster, you guys can go watch Solid Monster. Jesse and Solid Monster are probably only two I would recommend you go out and watch on a Monday or Tuesday. So make sure you guys mark that down on your calendar. I will not be here for Monday Night Raw and AEW Dynamite next week. So that's that. I appreciate you guys joining me on this Wednesday afternoon. Like I said, I'll be live with Jesse later on tonight around 10:20. You guys know the deal on that. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And make sure you guys go and check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. There's plenty of it. Monday Night Raw was a big show. We went over everything. I loved what we did on Monday. Broke that thing down like nobody else in the community. So make sure you guys go check that out. And then the podcast was live on Sunday night. We were live on Sunday night, and we went about 2.5 hours long, giving you episode 447 of the podcast. So any of the videos that you might have missed, they are there on the homepage. So make sure you guys go and check all that stuff out if you did indeed miss anything from OTS. You guys are crazy, man. I'm one of the very few that actually goes live after the show is over, man. There's a handful of us. I'm one of them. Someone like BC, you guys can watch him the next day. He's going to go and do what he's got to do the next day. But I will keep you guys updated on everything that's going on. I'm flying out Saturday, so we're not there yet. We're here now, so let's get into the news. Warner Brothers Discovery came out today and said that they are very happy with AEW. Huge numbers for AEW. They're very happy with AEW's numbers, and there are plans for additional shows with the network. The Hollywood Reporter had an interview up with Kathleen Finch, Warner Brothers Discovery U.S. Network's Group Chair and Chief Content Officer. So this is somebody that's highly regarded and highly up there in the Warner Brothers camp. There have been a lot of reports this year about Warner Brothers cost cutting and AEW being diminished to 1 hour and AEW getting cut or AEW not getting a renewal on their contract. All these particular news sites and these geeks on Twitter that have zero sources. Do not believe this shit online, okay? During the interview, Finch seemed happy with AEW's viewership numbers. That is backed up with some recent press releases sent out by Warner. AEW usually ranks number 1 amongst all programs in the key demos on Wednesday nights. That is not a lie. Tony Khan puts that out there. He wants you to know it every single week. And Tony Khan's actually doubled down. And, you know, no matter how many negative articles there are or no matter how many negative fucking geeks there are on, well, AEW is getting canceled. Tony Khan, they don't like what he's doing. No. Tony Khan puts that out, and then it's doubled down by Kathleen Finch. So there is no refuting this report. Finch said that they are looking at adding more wrestling content to the network. She said this, and I quote, "We really play into the sports space. One of the things that we're doing around sports is creating shoulder programming to hold onto those fans. AEW pulls huge numbers, so we are working with the wrestling team to figure out what kind of content we can build that's not in a wrestling ring." End quote. It's very promising for AEW, amongst all the hatred that they get online every single day. For anyone who had any doubts, the quote above should answer the questions about the relationship between Warner Brother, Discovery, and AEW. The only question is what the rights fees will look like when it comes time to negotiate a new deal. Now, Ariel Helwani interviewed Tony Khan last week, and he was asked about a variety of things, including this. And he was asked about his thoughts on the wrestling landscape in general. Tony Khan's done a very good job with AEW. Excellent job over the 3 years for a first time getting into the business like he has. Startup promotion. They're still very young. There's still a lot of hope and a lot of promise with AEW. Tony Khan never booked a show before he did AEW. So he's learning every single day. He's learning along the way. And he sees the ups and downs that are in the wrestling business. The ups and downs, obviously, with running a locker room like he has with so many egos and so many talents from all across the world. He sees the current landscape of pro wrestling, how it's changing day by day, week by week. He was actually asked about Triple H. And, you know, people like this, like Ariel Helwani, are going to ask the tough questions. That's why I and many others appreciate the kind of interviews that he does. He had a great one with Triple H. He had a great one with Seth Rollins. He asks the good questions. Tony Khan was asked about Triple H taking over creative in WWE. "I definitely am always up for a challenge," says Tony Khan. And I think there have been many elements that have seen a big improvement there. I've been open to saying that. I think there's been a lot of improvements there. I definitely think for us, we've had a lot of improvements too in recent weeks. I think we're both very competitive and have been competitive in the past. So obviously he's mentioning now and then going back to the Wednesday Night Wars that began in 2019. I think in this case now, says Tony Khan, hopefully it's going to be good for everybody. There's probably a bit more similarity in what we're looking for in terms of the profile of a free agent, which I think is already going to start being a thing. So we will see how this goes, end quote. Going back to what Kathleen Finch of Warner Brothers Discovery talked about, saying that they're very happy with AEW. I would like to see more non-wrestling in the ring content. I don't know in which way that could be. Maybe a reality show or something along the lines of what they do on their YouTube channel, which I think is shot incredibly. The Road to series, I would love to see something like that on TNT or TBS. I know that AEW trademarked All Elite Women. I don't know if that's going to be a wrestling I hope to God not. A wrestling show, which I think would be a terrible idea, or a reality show, just like it was for WWE when they did Total Divas and Total Bellas. I would like to see something along those lines if they're not going to venture off and do something else in the ring. I don't know what else they could do that's far or aspect of an in-ring product. You know, they have Battle of the Belts, they got Dynamite, they got Rampage, they got Dark on YouTube, which I don't really give a shit about. I think it's irrelevant, in my honest opinion. What I do think that they need to do, if they want to, I guess, enhance the overall AEW product on their network, Dynamite is a money-making thing on Wednesday night. That's the flagship. I honestly think that they need to start looking at the Rampage time slot and the Rampage ratings, which have not really, kept up their end of the bargain. Rampage and Battle of the Belts, I'm going to lump that in there with this as well. Battle of the Belt, we had, as a community, a completely different mindset about what Battle of the Belts was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be lumped at the end of a Rampage, as we saw this past Friday night. I didn't think it was going to be a irrelevant show that was booked into being just fucking a waste of time for 1 hour on a random Saturday night. They haven't really taken the concept and a show like that seriously. They've basically booked it as a fucking dark taping or a house show. It's not really what it should be. You should build importance around it. It should be a show like a Saturday night main event on that scale, and it should be important, not a 1 hour throwaway show on a random Saturday night that if you miss it, you ain't missing anything. That's not the type of vibe that I want from AEW. Hours of television on TV, and if you don't watch it, you basically are not missing anything. That sucks. You're basically telling the fans, like, yeah, we got television, but only half of it's worth watching. Not a good look. I think that needs to be reworked. I think Rampage absolutely needs a complete overhaul. That's where their priority should be. Warner should get with Tony Khan, and they should make Rampage into a B show. It should be a compliment to Dynamite, not a fucking house show or a compliment to Dark on YouTube. 2 hours, different night, prime time, live every week. Whether you want to do it on Thursday, Tuesday, whenever, it doesn't matter. It needs to be a live program at 8 p.m., and it needs to be AEW's SmackDown. That's what it needs to be. Instead of being AEW's 1 hour waste of time that follows SmackDown on Friday night, that if you miss it, you ain't missing shit. Now, as far as Tony Khan being asked by Ariel Helwani about Triple H, yes, Tony Khan sees everything that's going on. He is he basically has his finger on the pulse, more so than anybody else. Him and Triple H have their fingers on the pulse. They know what the fans want. They know the current trends and what's going to be and what's not going to be. It's not out of the realm of him going on these shows and, these questions not being asked. They are going to be asked. He's going to be asked about Triple H. He's going to be asked about, what's going on currently with the landscape of AEW. My thing is, he cannot worry about Triple H. He cannot worry about WWE. He can't continue to keep them in the back of his mind like it's some festering fucking sore and it's only getting worse and worse and worse. He's already probably as stressed as everybody thinks he is with Triple H taking over and the job that Triple H has done in 2 months, 2.5 months for WWE television. He cannot think about them. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. Tony Khan knows this. He knows that what Triple H is doing, AEW was considered an alternative. Now they're no longer considered an alternative because Triple H is giving you exactly what Tony Khan promised to give you, and he's doing it with a WWE budget on the main roster and some of the biggest talent in the fucking world. So when AEW was considered an alternative, now they are not. This is going to really push Tony Khan's buttons, and it's going to push his creativity to make AEW stand out as a true competitor to WWE, more so than what we've been given already. We can get great matches anywhere now. We can get great matches on Monday night. We can get great matches on Thursday night with Impact. We could get great matches on Wednesday night with AEW. But giving us a pro wrestling show is just so much more than great matches. We need a company that's going to give us solid storylines that are going to keep the fans invested, pushing that envelope every single week. Triple H is doing this thing better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard have done, and I knew this was going to be the case. Look at the current state of Monday Night Raw on Friday night. SmackDown. Completely different. The vibe is different. There's excitement, there's hope, there's promise. AEW has done a great job on their own. Ever since coming out of All Out with Punk and the Elite getting suspended, I've said this countless times, AEW's given us some of their best shows all year coming out of All Out. I thought Grand Slam was tremendous. I thought some of the Dynamites leading up to that and after that were tremendous. Great shows. The flow is getting better. Tony Khan is learning along the way. He knows what to do and what not to do. We're getting a little bit of a different Dynamite video packages, and the pace is slowed down a little bit. He needs to worry about what he needs to do, not worry about Triple H. There will be competitive aspects to both, but he cannot let what Triple H is doing bother him on Wednesday night. He's got a great roster all to himself, and he needs to make sure that we're fulfilled with story and interest, and obviously on top of that, which is not difficult for him to do, give us great wrestling matches. So it's going to really be a difficult thing for Tony Khan going into year 4 of AEW to make them stand out, because in years 1, 2, and 3, when Vince was in charge, it was easy to stand out. It's not going to be so easy now with Triple H to stand out, because Triple H knows better than anybody what the fans want. And what Tony Khan is giving us, Triple H is giving us now too. So how are you going to go out there and be different? That's the biggest challenge for Tony Khan going into year 4. Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt plans have now been revealed. PW Insider reports that Bray Wyatt is only slated for an appearance on SmackDown. Monday Night Raw, obviously WWE, they teased you with Wyatt. They teased you with a QR code. They got a static TV vignette with Bray Wyatt. Revel in who you are, or revel in what you know, or whatever the case may be. Bray Wyatt appeared on Monday in a pre-taped vignette. He was not there live in Brooklyn, in New York City. SmackDown is going to be his home, which is going to be very interesting because Roman Reigns finds his home as well on SmackDown. And if there is a story there, and they are building towards a story there, it is a shoo-in, and it basically writes itself. Wyatt and Roman have been career-long rivals, and especially with what Roman did to Wyatt last time we saw him, the last time we saw Bray Wyatt hold a championship, Roman Reigns was taking that championship off of The Fiend, which basically was one of many steps that killed The Fiend character on WWE television. He's been assigned to SmackDown. He will not be on Raw, and we saw this on Monday when he wasn't there. WWE announced on Raw that Wyatt will be appearing on Friday night. There was nothing said about what he might be doing or if he will even be there. I'm assuming he will be there. What he will be doing, I don't know. A promo would be nice to give us a sliver of a fucking clue about what's to come instead of these stupid QR codes now, which is now overkill. We've seen him, no more QR codes. That's my deal. On Monday, Raw, they aired a vignette about Wyatt's return segment from Extreme Rules. They showed the whole thing in its entirety in hopes that fans who missed the show would tune in to boost the ratings on Monday Night Raw, which was the case. Monday Night Raw actually did a huge rating on Monday night. Huge in terms of what they were at last week. They did 1.824 million this week, And then last week was 1.599. So there was a tremendous boost for Extreme Rules and the interest in Bray Wyatt's return to the WWE. I know a lot of people were upset that they didn't get Wyatt on TV on Monday night, and I tried my best to really dumb down those worries on Monday night. WWE never advertised Bray Wyatt for Monday night. So if anybody is out there, you know, I was excited to potentially see him as well. So, I mean, I'm not innocent in this either. But I didn't go out there and say, oh, my God, Bray Wyatt's going to say this and do that, and we're going to see the Wyatt 6 and all this other shit. People just don't understand that patience is key here. I get that you're excited to see Bray Wyatt. I really do. I'm a fan of Wyndham as well, just like everybody else. But WWE never really advertised Bray Wyatt for Monday. They went off the air Saturday night with Bray, and that's the way Extreme Rules went off the air. They never advertised him on Sunday. They never advertised him on Monday. They never said he would be there when they were live on the air. And the reason why he wasn't there is because, A, WWE wanted to build hype for SmackDown, and B, and I could be wrong on this, but, you know, I might not be that far off. There was a reason why we saw Brock Lesnar on the show. One of two reasons why we saw Brock Lesnar on the show. One, WWE, I read that they called Brock on Saturday for Monday Night Raw. They called him this past weekend. So that match with Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins was actually booked on Monday last week. So they kind of figure, you know what, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot here. Let's call Brock and see if we can make this thing make sense. And we need a Saudi match, so let's do Brock and Lashley in Saudi at Crown Jewel. So that was one of the reasons. The other reason is, you know, Lesnar was a Fox talent. You know, when someone like Lesnar comes in, you know, Fox wants their grubby, greedy hands all over everybody because they're Fox and they're paying $1 billion. NBCU is paying close to $1 billion for Monday Night Raw. So that's nothing to scoff at either. But Fox, they want everything. They want everything. They want Charlotte. They want Ronda. You know, when Ronda came back up, she's got to be on SmackDown. Oh, Roman is the biggest thing around. We got to get Roman on Friday night. We gotta get Roman on Friday night. Monday Night Raw can't have him. Why haven't you seen Roman on Monday night? Because Fox doesn't want to share. Fox doesn't like anybody else playing in their fucking sandbox. So Roman on Monday Night Raw, they don't want Roman on Monday. They want him exclusively on Friday. Same thing goes for Lesnar. When Lesnar came back, where did he go? He went right to SmackDown. He did his thing on Monday, but he went right back to feuding with Roman Reigns on SmackDown, and we really didn't see him much on Monday Night Raw. Same thing is happening with Bray Wyatt. So Lesnar going to Monday Night Raw was a make good for NBCU. Hey, yeah, listen, we love you too. We're going to give you Lesnar. And quietly, they shooed Bray Wyatt over to Friday night. Fox wants everything. Fox is greedy. They saw the numbers. They saw the interaction with the fans on social media. They want what's hot, and that's why Bray's going to SmackDown. WWE could have easily did something with Bray on Monday, but Fox wants Bray, and that's what they're doing there. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Bray Wyatt revealing his Firefly Funhouse characters as his new stable, called the Wyatt 6. I will get into that in just a little bit because WWE is actually looking at some big-time free agents on the independent circuit that could round out what could be a potential Wyatt 6 for Bray Wyatt and making those Funhouse characters come to life. But Monday Night Raw was a very good show. I thought this was one of the best Raws of the entire year. I thought the 25th anniversary of DX didn't overstay its welcome. Triple H didn't want to make it the focus of the show. He wanted everybody else to focus on the Bray Wyatts and the Bobby Lashleys and the Brock Lesnars and the Seth Rollins of the WWE, right? The Johnny Garganos, and continue building him and Austin Theory and everything else that went on that show. Judgment Day, Edge, and Rey Mysterio, Dominic. It was a great show from top to bottom. It didn't even feel like 3 hours. To see that rating on Monday night in the midst of Monday Night Football, 1.5 was the norm for the last couple of weeks. 1.5, 1.6. I knew they were going to take a hit with Monday Night Football. 1.8 is a huge number for WWE in the midst of Monday Night Football. Not only for WWE, but for Wyndham and what Bray Wyatt means to the WWE. WWE had the Extreme Rules pay-per-view end on Saturday night. It was the most watched Extreme Rules pay-per-view in the entire history of the show. The interest for that show blew away every other iteration of Extreme Rules, thanks to Wyndham and the QR code viral campaign. Going into Monday Night Raw, the Barclays Center did not have a sellout before Wyndham made his return to WWE. Wyndham pushed at least 40% of the additional ticket sales on that weekend going into Monday Night Raw, with fans hoping to see Bray Wyatt on Monday night. Bray Wyatt legitimately, for just a little bit, moved the needle. That video on YouTube, look at the amount of millions upon millions upon millions of views Bray Wyatt did for WWE social media. He moved the needle for the weekend. Bray Wyatt moved the needle as far as the ratings are concerned on Monday night. Is that going to remain that way? I don't know. With Lesnar back, I don't know. Lesnar is not as hot as Bray Wyatt. But Bray Wyatt going to SmackDown, we may see an increase in SmackDown. It's going to be a very interesting thing to keep an eye on with how much he moves the needle for WWE being back in the company. So they did a very good rating on Monday night. They should be very happy with that from where they were for the first 3 weeks of Monday Night Football. One of the most frustrating things on WWE television was the sound of this. Holy sh! Holy sh! Holy sh! That's what you heard on USA Network. Now, when you watch a wrestling show, you fall in love with the audience. The audience is the energy, right? The audience is one of the most important aspects of the entire show. On top of what you see and how it's produced and how it's booked and what you are watching on the show, storylines, in-ring action, this and that, the fans are a huge aspect of what makes a show good or good to great. And on Monday Night Raw, we heard holy shit being censored. We heard a lot of the on Monday Night Raw. And I asked myself why. I don't really understand this. This is an adult show. It's on at prime time and, 8 to 10 or 8 to 11 rather. And 3 hours. You should be able to get away with something like that on Monday night in prime time on cable. It's not even basic It's not even basic cable. It's cable TV. And we're hearing bleeps of holy shit. It takes away from the overall energy of the show. Now, look at what you saw on Monday night. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because when Gallows and Anderson came out, it was a tremendous return for them. They got a huge pop upon backing up AJ Styles against Judgment Day. Holy shit chants rang down for Gallows and Anderson. It took away from the moment. Now, go back and watch Extreme Rules on Saturday night when Bray Wyatt walked through the door with the lantern and he had the mask on and he took the fucking mask off. Fans were chanting, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Go back and watch that and see what those people in Philadelphia did for that segment. It made the overall segment that much more epic. When you start listening to fucking holy shit chants on Monday night with the returns of Gallows and Anderson and you hear, it takes away from the overall vibe of the show. Reason why WWE censored Monday Night Raw, this is according to several reports. There was a report going back that WWE wanted the product to be TV 14 again. And this would begin on the July 18th, 2022 episode of Raw. There was an update on PW Insider on August 25th that plan for TV 14 had been abandoned by USA Network and WWE. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio said this is due to WWE not wanting to upset advertisers following the departure of Vince McMahon from the company. Andrew Zarian has now provided a little update, some more information about the original plans on Twitter. In response to Wrestling Inc.'s tweet about the holy shit chants on Monday Night Raw, Zarian tweeted, and I quote, "This was one of the reasons behind wanting to go TV 14. Wanting to change TV 14 partly because of profane chants makes sense for the company, as WWE is often forced to censor chants at inconvenient and distracting times. A good uncensored holy shit chant can add the epicness to a show, give the show ambiance, and give that show a fucking real, organic feel. And when you dumb that down and you take that away from the viewing audience at home, it's pathetic. And it's sad. And it definitely hurts the vibe of the show. They did that on NXT as well. I mean, NXT was the breeding ground for holy shit chants when they were black and gold at Full Sail University. Now I watch NXT, and if there's something that does require a holy shit chant, which is very rare on Tuesday night because that show sucks, they bleep it out. They bleep it out. And that show could use all the help it could get, and you're going to take away from that show even on Tuesday night? That's a dumb fucking move. What is with the pussification of the world we live in? If I'm an advertiser, I'm going to say, hey, this is real life, this is what fans want, they're excited. That is just another form of them showing their excitement. How many of these advertisers use the word shit in their everyday life? But we can't hear it from fans reacting to something on their show. It's ridiculous, it's lame, it's sad, and it's so fucking woke. Is that the right meaning for the word? I don't even meddle in this shit, man. It's so fucking lame. It's pathetic. It actually angers me. One of the best things about growing up being a wrestling fan is the ECW. You will never find crowds like that ever again. That was the pinnacle of what a wrestling crowd should be. Fans like that at the ECW arena during their pay-per-views. It's ridiculous. I love those chants. Those chants make the show. It takes the show from being good to great. The overall vibe of the audience. Take that away. Not a good look, man. Not a good look. What wasn't a good look for WWE was when they broke up the Hurt Business. With all the resurgence of trios in WWE, we got a bunch of trios in WWE now. We got The Club is back. We got Legado del Fantasma on SmackDown. We got Judgment Day. We got the Brawling Brutes. We got Imperium. We got New Day. We got the Bloodline. There is so many great tag teams in WWE right now. It is at a point where I'm tickled with glee because this is exactly what I wanted. Will this lead to trios championships being introduced? I don't know. The more championships on TV, the less valuable all the championships are. I do think WWE could benefit from a trios championship, but if we're going to venture down that road, we need to omit some championships from TV, like the women's tag team championships. They got to go. Merging one of the women's or both of the women's championships rather into one, both of the tag team championships in the men division into one. Let's decrease the amount of championships before we start talking about trios. I get it. I understand the mindset there from fans. No more championships, but WWE is in a position where they can actually decrease the amount of championships we see on TV by doing some simple things. And then maybe down the line we can add trios. But Bobby Lashley wants to reunite the Hurt Business at some point in WWE. Now, MVP was managing Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, and Bobby Lashley. They were a very good-looking trio, very popular trio on Monday Night Raw. They basically were some of the backbone that held WWE up during the pandemic era in the Thunderdome, and they looked great. And feuds with the New Day and feuds with the Bloodline never really materialized because Vince didn't get it. Vince and Bruce did not get it. They saw Cedric and Shelton as jobbers. How can we pair these two guys up with Bobby Lashley? I'm bored. Let's get rid of it. Let's break it up. And then they did nothing with Shelton and Cedric Alexander after that anyway. They became fucking catering VIPs at that point. Jobbers to the stars they were. He was on Busted Open Radio. Bobby Lashley was. He was asked about being positioned as one of the top acts on Monday Night Raw, and he put over the roster that WWE has right now. He said that's what made him excited about winning the United States title. He praised various wrestlers before noting that he hopes to get the group back together. Some of my closest friends, even favorites, the Hurt Business. MVP is now with Omos, which is ridiculous. Omos has hit such a fucking, he has such a small ceiling in WWE. He's already hit that. There's nothing more for him to do. He's not a future of the company. He's not a world champion. He's not even good at what he does. He's a waste of TV time. He is so lacking of charisma and he's just disinteresting. Nobody wants to see him on television. Like, what the fuck do we need Omos now that Braun Strowman's back in the WWE? Omos was going to be the one to replace Braun Strowman, and he couldn't even do that right. Braun Strowman is quicker, faster, bigger, and moreover, and better in the ring, and a better promo than Omos. So what the fuck do we need Omos for when we got everything we need in Braun Strowman? So he praised various wrestlers before noting that he hopes to get the Hurt Business back together. He talks about this. Shelton Benjamin is still doing his stuff. Cedric is there. I'd like to bring that group back together at some point in time. Triple H, you know what to do. Triple H wants to add tag teams. Internally, I read just before we went live, internally, they got now Shelton Benjamin and R-Truth as a tag team, listed as a tag team internally in WWE. I don't know what that's about or when that came about, but listen, as long as R-Truth is not running around looking for the 24/7 title, which seemingly has been burned in a fire somewhere, I don't really care. But that's not the right role for Shelton Benjamin. He's a little bit on the older side. He's definitely one of the veterans there, but to think that Shelton still doesn't have legs in the WWE and still doesn't have value in the WWE, pairing him with Cedric and getting the Hurt Business back together is something that I'd absolutely love to see, especially in the current climate of WWE where everybody is now aligned with a faction. Imagine the Hurt Business versus Imperium. Imagine the Hurt Business versus the Bloodline. Imagine the Hurt Business versus the Brawling Brutes. Imagine the Hurt Business versus Judgment Day. I mean, it speaks for itself. Whereas they had nobody to feud with outside the New Day or the Usos, now look at all the field. Hurt Business versus Legado. I mean, the field is wide open now. Bobby Lashley is no longer the United States champion. It now even presents itself more so to get this group back together. I think this would be a fantastic opening for Triple H to really start thinking about what to do with Bobby Lashley moving forward now that he's not the United States champion, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander. I'm going to throw this one at you. I know we talked about this when Hit Row. Hit Row's another group on WWE TV. They need somebody for sure to lead them because they really haven't felt the same without Swerve on WWE TV. They feel like they're just there. But I talked about this when Hit Row first made their return to WWE. I said, they definitely need a voice. They definitely need a leader. Why not call up Carmelo Hayes and have him lead Hit Row? Now, I'm not going that way anymore. I'm not going that way. You know, where we have the Bloodline on WWE TV, you know, they got Roman, they got Sami Zayn, the Honorary Uso, they got Solo, they got the Usos, they got Paul Heyman. They are a stable. They are a family of talent that obviously is the biggest act in WWE. Now, I understand that nobody's going to be as big as the Bloodline, but at least we can try to bring others to the point of maybe having them be 1B under the Bloodline's 1A, right? Why not get the Hurt Business back together? Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander. Why not call up Carmelo Hayes and put Carmelo Hayes in the Hurt Business alongside Trick Williams? Now, I'm not a big fan of the act of Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. I'm a fan of Carmelo Hayes. I just don't really, something in me just looks at them and says cringe together. I don't know what it is, but I'm not really sold on Trick Williams himself. Though he's gotten a little bit better from the first time we saw him back during the debut of NXT 2.0. Imagine those five with MVP being the Hurt Business. Imagine Carmelo getting to the main roster and having MVP as a mouthpiece and a manager for him, even though he doesn't need it. Just the look of standing next to MVP and the look of standing next to Bobby Lashley, all wearing suits. Can you imagine the fucking makeup of that group? Can you imagine the Hurt Business being those five guys to combat the Bloodline? That is fucking great. That's how you develop talent. Carmelo Hayes is going to be fine on WWE's main roster. He's got, the world is his oyster. He doesn't have a ceiling. But to get him known in front of everybody from NXT to the main roster, pairing him with those guys may do the trick. And I'm just thinking out loud creatively on how to maximize the presence of Hurt Business by helping them build other stars in the process. That would be something that I would like. Basically, yes, the next Evolution. It could be something like Evolution. And that would be great. So, Hurt Business back on WWE TV, something I would definitely like to see in the weeks and months to come. WWE is very keen on a couple of free agents here. Let's start with this one, man. WWE is interested in Matt Taven. Now, I'm not familiar with Matt Taven. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't really know that much about Matt Taven. But Matt Taven is a former Impact Wrestling star. And after the return of Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows on Monday's Raw, WWE is now interested in bringing in Matt Taven. Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, who's a former WWE superstar himself, Maria Kanellis, former WWE superstar herself, and Vincent all recently finished up with Impact Wrestling. It was reported that Vincent and Dutch, a.k.a. The Righteous from Ring of Honor, were backstage at Monday Night Raw. While speaking on Observer Live, Meltzer noted that WWE is interested in signing Matt Taven. For whatever reason, I don't know. I know WWE has an interest in Matt Taven. I would think that also Taven, Bennett, and Maria could all go to New Japan because they have a history there. I don't know about AEW, but if there's something going on at Ring of Honor, they could go there because they were Ring of Honor wrestlers. They may all. Maria was trying to start her own women's wrestling company as well. I don't know what Maria wants to do. Starting up her own women's wrestling company may be something that is a very, very, very tall task ahead of someone like that. But Maria, I don't know what she plans to do or if there have been discussions between AEW, Tony Khan, and Maria Kanellis. You know, a lot of people have been mentioning this in the weeks leading up to their departure from Impact Wrestling. It would be great if Tony Khan could get somebody like Maria to come on in and really, really, and I mean really be an advisor for the women's division in AEW. I think that would be something that would benefit not only AEW, but Maria as well. And if she wants to wrestle, she could throw herself into the name of superstars on that roster and wrestle here and there if she so chooses, if it makes sense. But especially with Ring of Honor, and I mentioned this going back with Tony Khan months ago, too much shit on his plate. You know, I don't know when or if we're going to get a Ring of Honor relaunch. Legitimately, I'm tired of seeing the Ring of Honor shit on AEW television, minus Chris Jericho. I think whatever Jericho does is fantastic. Bryan Danielson in this Ring of Honor's championship stuff is great. Very good storyline. Obviously, it's building up Daniel Garcia. But outside that, you know, Samoa Joe's lost in the shuffle. We got Jay Lethal lost in the shuffle. We got, Ring of Honor wrestlers. FTR hasn't really done much on AEW television. They're holding the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Everybody seemingly is lost in the shuffle. They lost Jonathan Gresham, who's a top hand himself in the ring. What are we doing with the Ring of Honor brand? When Ring of Honor inevitably gets a TV deal or a streaming deal or they get TV weekly, who's going to be booking the show? Is it going to be Tony Khan? Or is he going to hire somebody to take off or take that off of his plate, and he's going to assign people to run the show, creatively book the show, with him being the head guy that approves everything? Who's going to run the women's division over there? Maria Kanellis would be a great advisor to the women's division and getting them where they need to be. The Righteous here, Matt Taven or whoever else, Vincent and Dutch, you know, I'll get to them in a second. Mike Bennett, Matt Taven. They would be great in Ring of Honor. They are Ring of Honor. But WWE is interested in bringing in Matt Taven. For what? Where's he going? Who the fuck knows anything about Matt Taven from WWE side? Are they going to NXT? Are they going to bring them in as veteran presence to get the young kids over on NXT? That's seemingly a downgrade from where I guess anything's an upgrade coming from Impact. But, I mean, is that what they want for themselves? To be the veterans on a show filled with rookies? I don't think that's what they want. I think they want a bigger spotlight than that. But WWE being interested in Matt Taven and Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis, I don't want to throw this out there because I don't really know for sure, but it certainly looks like it. Somebody that doesn't have any name value on the WWE side of things, and WWE is interested in bringing them in, kind of sounds very petty and kind of sounds like WWE wants to keep those names who are ingrained in Ring of Honor and more than likely could go to AEW. Sounds like Triple H and WWE wants to keep these people from going to Ring of Honor as a way to stifle the Ring of Honor relaunch. I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions, but I'm going to throw that out there as part of a possibility for WWE being interested in Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Maria Kanellis when they had absolutely zero impact on WWE television. It's going to be very, very interesting to see if they are interested, if they do come in, and where they go. Because as of right now, just reading this, I can't really help but not get excited. Now, the other names that I mentioned, Vincent and Dutch. Again, I'm not familiar with them, but I did see them at the last Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and I thought they looked good. They were in a trios match, I believe, with Dalton Castle. And WWE is interested in bringing in Vincent and Dutch. They were actually backstage for Monday's Night Raw in Brooklyn, though neither appeared on camera during the show. It was at Death Before Dishonor. The Righteous, Vincent, Bateman, and Dutch dropped their Ring of Honor six-man tag team championship to Dalton Castle and the Boys. Since then, each Righteous member have gone on to do their own thing. Vincent has been with Impact recently as a part of the Honor No More faction. Bateman has wrestled across the Indies, while Dutch has not wrestled a match in over 2 months. With breaking news that Vincent, along with fellow Honor No More members Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Maria Kanellis, coming to an end with Impact Wrestling and WWE being interested in them. This is also now interesting news that WWE had Vincent and Dutch backstage during Monday Night Raw to just basically be backstage. They weren't on camera. They weren't on the show. They may have friends and close friends that work with WWE, and they were in the area. I don't know. But Dutch and Vincent have not teamed up in months. The last time they did was in Beyond Wrestling, where they partnered with another Righteous member, Vita Von Star, to take on and lose to the team of Wave and Curls, Jalen Brandon and Trayvon Jordan with Willow Nightingale. Since taking over creative of WWE, Paul Levesque has brought back many names, including Bray Wyatt, Johnny Gargano, Karrion Kross, Braun Strowman, Hit Row, amongst others. We got the Club, the OC, Gallows and Anderson just coming back on Monday Night Raw, again, aligning themselves with AJ Styles. And Gallows is still the never open weight champion for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, again, this goes back to what we talked about a few months ago and the mentality of WWE changing now that Vince is gone. You know, Vince didn't want independent talent joining the WWE. He didn't want independent talent joining the WWE because he wanted you with a fresh slate. He wanted you basically to know WWE and WWE only. He didn't want to take you from the indies, 10 to 15 years experience on the indies, and retrain you all over again. He didn't want none of that indie stink on you. He wanted to mold somebody in his image and what the WWE image is, and he didn't have any interest in that. But WWE at a rapid pace was not going to grow. And they weren't growing because some of these NIL programs that they held before some of the major shows recently, they were a complete disaster. You're not going to find the next household name via the NIL program. It's going to take some time to even get there. So WWE banking on the NIL program only was not going to get them what they needed. They need to go out and hire independent wrestling talent. Independent wrestling is the lifeblood of this fucking industry. It's the lifeblood of AEW. It's the lifeblood of WWE. Some of your favorites on WWE television, where did they get their start? They got their start on the indies. They made their name on the indies, and they became bigger stars because of the WWE machine. Why would you ever abandon this mentality? I don't really get it. The NIL program, though it's good in mindset, it's a terrible fucking program if you're going to bank on that alone. This is why NXT was so fucking special. Look at what they did to all the names that brought, the name value to the indies. Look at what Triple H, he basically built himself a super indie. He basically hurt Ring of Honor's business because he did what Ring of Honor was doing with a bigger budget and more prettier lights and a bigger stage than Ring of Honor could ever do. But look at why NXT Black and Gold was so successful. Look at the independent talent that Triple H brought into the company and made household names on WWE television. It's exactly what they need to do. Them abandoning that mindset was fucking ridiculous from the word go. Your next household name, your next WrestleMania main event star is somewhere on the indies. You cannot get rid of that. Now, again, I'm not familiar with the Righteous. I'm not familiar with Matt Taven. I'm not familiar with any of these guys. But I do know who they are, and I do know the characters that they've worked. And now the rumor is that WWE may be bringing them in, or at least interested in talking to them about coming on in, because they could fit Bray Wyatt's Wyatt 6 perfectly. Now, I don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. Apparently, when Bray Wyatt had these QR viral codes go out, the campaign went viral. All of it had to do with Bray Wyatt. WWE creative was largely, they said, hands off. So who's to say Bray Wyatt isn't thinking about who he wants in the Wyatt 6? If this does end up being a faction, the Wyatt 6 ends up being a faction, we don't know what the fuck it is. We don't know if the Funhouse is going to become, an actual faction. All those people under the masks on Saturday's Extreme Rules, we don't know if it's, going to be the Funhouse characters come to life in human form? We don't know. But Triple H certainly has his finger on the pulse, certainly knows what's going on and who's out there that's free agent, right? Certainly knows who fits WWE's universe the right way, or in this case, Bray Wyatt's universe. He's already out there bringing these guys backstage. They may be lined up for a role here in the Wyatt Six. We don't know. And they would fit like a glove, honestly, just by the characters that they portray, would fit really good in the Wyatt Six if that actually becomes a thing. But we don't know. Alexa Bliss has been mentioned. Liv Morgan has been mentioned to play Sister Abigail. I've heard people from Baron Corbin and Grayson Waller. I don't know where Grayson Waller comes into play. Joe Gacy, Baron Corbin, Tommaso Ciampa, Dexter Lumis, Karrion Kross. We don't know. We don't know. At this point, it's a fucking toss-up. People just throwing names at a fucking dartboard, hoping it fucking sticks. We don't know. But this could work. Why would they be backstage? Of everybody in the fucking, on the indies, these two guys are backstage at Monday Night Raw. Why? On Monday Night Raw, never mind NXT, Monday Night Raw, following Extreme Rules. Why? Following Extreme Rules that saw one of the biggest returns in company history, they may already be lining up ideas to pair whomever they think is best with Bray Wyatt. And whoever is going to be aligned with Bray Wyatt, they could be absolutely nobodies, or it could be somebody from the indies that don't have much traction. Whoever is going to be a part of this group is going to be in for the biggest career role of their life. They will be over no matter what because of what Wyndham brings to the table. So we will see how this all plays out. But WWE is interested in Vincent and Dutch of the Righteous. And if there's any more news on this, I will let you guys know on a future OTS. WWE is also showing interest in Jonah, the former Bronson Reed. Jonah was released on WWE, or by WWE, on August 6th, 2021. He joined Impact in November of 2021. He announced his departure from the company on May 6th, 2022. He made several appearances for New Japan Pro Wrestling, including being a participant in the G1 Climax. Jonah scored an upset victory over Kazuchika Okada in the G1, who eventually did go on to win Okada Block A and win the G1 Climax. It is now official. It will be Okada and Jay White at Wrestle Kingdom. So October 10th, Okada defeated Jonah in a rematch at New Japan Pro Wrestling Declaration of Power in the co-main event of the show. Following the match, Jay White successfully defended the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Tama Tonga. Okada interrupted White's post-match promo, challenged him to a match, which would be the main event at Wrestle Kingdom 17 on January 4th, 2023. Jonah, says Dave Meltzer, when Okada versus Jonah was over, they did a handshake. I don't know why. They didn't talk finale, and they didn't say he was leaving, but kind of the way that handshake went down, WWE's gone after Jonah, and they want him back. Triple H wants him back. And even though Jonah was getting a great push here, this was actually the first pinfall loss he's taken in New Japan. The handshake was kind of weird. It was almost like you think maybe he's going back to WWE, but I don't know if that's the case or not. Jonah will be back in WWE. Jonah will be back, or Bronson Reed, I should say, will be back in WWE. Triple H probably lost sleep over countless talents that Vince McMahon either buried or ended up releasing from NXT Black and Gold. Bronson Reed and the way his call-up transpired and everything that happened with Bronson Reed, Triple H put over Bronson Reed in such a big way. He beat Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship. Bronson Reed was handpicked by Triple H on Black and Gold NXT to be the next breakout guy. You do not push somebody like that to go over the face of your company, the face of NXT, Johnny Gargano, and you don't have fucking hopes and plans for him. They had him drop the title right after he won it to Swerve, and Swerve did nothing with the championship, but Bronson Reed was having dark matches on SmackDown. He had 2 dark matches and then ended up getting released for one reason or another, and they won't tell you why. The reason why they released Bronson Reed was one of 2 reasons. Number one, he was Black and Gold, and they were absolutely appalled that this was the talent that Triple H was breeding in Black and Gold. Number 2, he was largely somebody that they looked at as not the image that we want, and basically, for lack of a better term, fat. Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon didn't like the way Bronson Reed looked, and they thought that he was expendable. You can go out there and claim, oh, they thought he was old. He's 30 fucking years old. When is 30 years old old? He was coming along. He had a great look. He had a great entrance. The visuals to his fucking presentation were fantastic, and you let him go? That man was targeted, and he was let go for absolutely no fucking reason. You don't think that man knows that? You don't think Triple H knows that? The one thing that Triple H has made very clear is that he wants to bring back people that were terribly wronged by the last administration. That's why Cross is back. That's why Hit Row is back. That's why Braun Strowman is back. That's why the club is back. Every one of these returns has been calculated and strategic. Bronson Reed is going to be back in the WWE. Dakota Kai, that's a reason why she's back. All of these men and women were fucking let go for one reason and one reason only. They were targeted because they were Triple H's favorites. They were Triple H NXT Black and Gold favorites. Bronson Reed, they absolutely looked at him and thought his weight was an issue. No doubt about it. As artificial and superficial as that fucking man is, Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon, you mean to tell me that that wasn't a reason? It absolutely was a reason. How many people look like Bronson Reed on WWE television outside of Otis? Not one. I'm surprised Otis is still there. Otis wasn't going anywhere under Vince McMahon. Look at Otis now under Triple H. Otis looks like a fucking beast. Alpha Academy looks like a beast, minus the losses every week. They look fucking great. Give me a break. The old administration fucking sucks. There's a reason why nobody's talking about them. Look at what Triple H is doing. He's making you forget. He's already made you forget. 2 months in, 2.5 months in about the old administration. There's another free agent that WWE is thinking about bringing back, and this is Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is a free agent, according to WrestleVotes. WWE reportedly has significant interest. She's another one that got let go for no reason. In bringing her back into the mix. Green was released by WWE in 2021, but her run was greatly hampered by injuries. Green broke her wrist twice, once in NXT and the second time in her first match of her main roster call-up on SmackDown. Don't even know why she was there. Why was she on SmackDown for that main roster call? Nobody knew anything about her. No vignettes, no promos, no nothing. They just threw her out there. One day, you just see her on SmackDown, and in that match, which was a waste of fucking time, she broke her wrist again. Green mentioned after her release in April of 2021 on Busted Open Radio that she didn't see it coming and that after her arm injury really wasn't something that should have caused her release back then. Since her release, Green has been all over the indies. She's not been afraid to showcase her talents across multiple promotions, and she's the wife of Zack Ryder, a.k.a. Matt Cardona. And Matt Cardona is another guy who just recently was quoted saying, you know, I don't think about going back to the WWE, but I think about holding the WWE title every single day. Now, I'll get to him in a second. Most recently, Green was paired with Deonna Purrazzo, and the two became a knockout tag team champion on Impact Television. And however, this past Sunday at Bound for Glory, they were defeated by Jessica Havoc and Taya Valkyrie, and they're calling themselves the Death Dolls, I believe, for the tag team titles. Green recently told people, GAWTV, I don't know what that is or who they are, that she had to get surgery on her nose, saying, I got my septum put back in place. Green has also worked with Ring of Honor. She's worked with NWA. She's worked with GCW. And she is now being courted by Triple H and WWE. I don't know where she would go. I don't know where she would fit. Maybe the main roster, but Triple H is going to have to really do some work to get people to care because, you know, I wasn't really thrilled with the way Triple H handled Candice LeRae's return to the WWE. Nobody really knew who Candice LeRae was, and she hasn't really gotten a star reaction on the main roster, and she's been in notable matches already with most of Damage Control. So she really hasn't been, you know, looked at as, oh my God, it's Candice LeRae. Same thing's going to happen with Chelsea Green. We just can't bring Chelsea Green back to WWE television without a proper plan and some build-up. So I don't know how they're going to handle that, but if she does come back to the company, this could be WWE's way of also maybe getting Zack Ryder back in the WWE. He's a WWE guy. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but this is a different administration. Vince McMahon never seen anything in Zack Ryder. Could you imagine? I could absolutely imagine Triple H going out and getting a Chelsea Green in hopes of maybe bringing in Matt Cardona. What would Matt Cardona be like in WWE? He's done the same thing that Cody Rhodes has done. Matt Cardona in the last 2 or 3 years has been bigger on the indies and in everything he's done than all of his run in WWE. He's a bigger name now with what he's doing than he ever was. I could absolutely see Triple H wanting to bring him in as Matt Cardona. You have to play off that. He's a made man now. Why wouldn't Triple H want that? Triple H understands that. Triple H knows exactly why these guys were released, these women were released, and how life is after WWE. He gets it. He sees it. So why wouldn't he want that back in WWE? Look at all that he's done. Can you imagine him in WWE? How big of a star he would be now if Triple H, maintains the essence of what he has become? He could basically, imagine, look at what Cody Rhodes did. Look at what Cody Rhodes did. Maintaining that Cody Rhodes essence through the indies, leaving WWE through the indies on AEW, and they didn't change a fucking thing about Cody Rhodes. They brought him in as what we saw on AEW television, and it worked brilliantly for WWE. He fits in like a glove. So WWE could basically do the same thing there with Matt Cardona. I think I'd love to see it. I don't know if he's going to be vying for a WWE title anytime soon, but that would be tremendous. So if Chelsea Green is being courted by WWE, who's to say that WWE isn't thinking about Matt Cardona as well? I don't know what his contract status is or where he's tied up, but it's an interesting aspect to think about. Chelsea Green, I'd like to see her get another go, but WWE's got to change it up a little bit. They just can't bring somebody like that in and place them on WWE TV. There needs to be a reason, a build-up, some hype behind it. You can't throw her out there like you did Candice LeRae. It's not going to work out for Chelsea Green. WWE has plans, and we've seen the plans already, to bring back Sarah Logan. According to a report from PW Insider, the plan is for Sarah Logan to be connected on camera to the Viking Raiders upon her return, as she is married to Eric of the Viking Raiders. WWE announced last month that Eric suffered a foot injury and would be out indefinitely. The injury happened during a match with the New Day, which was a no DQ match, a Vikings rules match. There's been no word on the severity of the injury, so it's possible that Eric is close to being cleared for in-ring action, or Ivar will wrestle as a singles wrestler until Eric gets back, and she will be paired alongside Ivar until Eric gets back from the injury. This is great. Now, I wasn't a big fan of Sarah Logan because I feel like she was miscast. I didn't believe her in the role that she was in, and this is something that we were talking about when she was slowly transforming herself on TV. We all knew that she got married to Eric, and she kind of adopted those Viking traits and that Viking look little by little to her act on TV. And everybody was saying, including me, why don't you just do the right thing and make things simple for yourself and pair her with her husband and make her a part of the Viking Raiders act? Now, they didn't do that then. Now, Triple H is taking this, as simplistic as it is, knowing who she is and who she's married to and what the vibe of the Viking Raiders are, he's giving her a gimmick, and she's going to be a part of the act. How she's going to play the act, I don't know. How she's going to fit in on TV, I don't know. But it makes sense. That's somebody that desperately needed a direction on WWE TV, because I did not get a sense of that when she was paired with Ruby Soho and Liv Morgan in the Riot Squad. Now, I feel like this is going to be a better return for Sarah Logan. I think this is going to be a better opportunity for Sarah Logan, and she's going to be ingrained, and she's going to be playing something that she's very familiar with, and I'm sure a lot more comfortable with, because her husband is in the group. This is going to be very interesting to see. So I'm very excited to see how this plays out on TV, as we saw on Friday, a vignette that someone is coming or someone is returning to WWE, and it was very Viking themed, and obviously everybody is leading it to believe that it is Sarah Logan and the return of Sarah Logan. Switching gears to NXT, man. On Tuesday night, I watched the show. It was not good at all. It was not entertaining, and Booker T was just as bad on commentary as I expected him to be. But one of the things on NXT that I noticed is that WWE talent from the main roster is going to be regularly appearing on NXT. We saw Sonya Deville alongside JC Jane and Gigi Dolan of Toxic Attraction join forces with Toxic Attraction because Mandy Rose right now is out. I believe Mandy Rose had a death in the family. I believe her brother had passed away recently, so she hasn't been there. So Sonya Deville right now is there, and they're using Sonya as Mandy's friend as a favor to Mandy Rose to help in Toxic Attraction's feud with Alba Fire, who's getting a title match against Mandy Rose at the Halloween Havoc pay-per-view. Fightful is reporting that the crossover between Raw and SmackDown talent on NXT is set to continue even after the slight rebrand. I wouldn't even call it that. It was nothing along the lines of a rebrand. It was basically nothing more than a logo change, as everything we see is still NXT 2.0. Now, we've seen the Brawling Brutes, we've seen Finn Balor, we've seen Nikki Ash, Doudrop, and several others make appearances on the brand. Fightful spoke with sources, and they say that the crossover has been beneficial for NXT in numerous ways. One source pointed to the increased consistent viewership over the last couple of months. Another source highlighted the fact that the talent brought in can elevate those that they work with and help establish where they are in their preparedness for Raw and SmackDown, in addition to the experience factor helping out with the roster. Now, that is the only thing I would say is a benefit to the main roster acts going to NXT, helping them establish where they are in their preparedness for Raw and SmackDown. That is it. It's not doing anything for the ratings. It's not doing anything for anything else. To me, it looks desperate because NXT is not at a point where they can exist on their own and generate interest on their own with who they have down there on a weekly basis on Tuesday night, that they need help from Raw and SmackDown to inject some of that interest on to Tuesday night. I guess it's a good move, but I feel like it's lame, and I feel like it's a little lame, and I would say it's not NXT. NXT never really had to rely on that at all. NXT always thrived with who they had. It's a little desperate. So I don't like it, but the only thing I do like is that it could really get those on NXT ready for Raw and SmackDown while working with top-tier talent. Now, the other thing that happened outside of Sonya Deville, if you guys are interested in that, Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, they have a pick your poison stipulation going on. Roxanne Perez was announced for Friday Night SmackDown, and Cora Jade is announced for Monday Night Raw. This is all leading to next Saturday's, not this Saturday, next Saturday's Halloween Havoc pay-per-view. Now, Roxanne Perez is going to be on SmackDown, and Cora Jade is going to choose her opponent on SmackDown. And Roxanne Perez is on SmackDown. She's going to choose Cora Jade's opponent on Monday Night Raw. So I like that as it builds some intrigue for her, or their, I should say, match at Halloween Havoc, which should be the final match in this grudge match. But I do like that Roxanne Perez is going to get some shine on the main roster, and I do like that Cora Jade is going to get some shine on Monday Night Raw, as I do think that they both need it. More so Cora Jade. Roxanne Perez is going to be fine. But I like that, and it makes sense. So we will see what happens with that. But talent will be appearing from the main roster on NXT, and NXT talent in this way will be appearing on Monday Night Raw. As long as it makes sense, I'm okay with it. Carmelo Hayes worked the dark match on main event. Von Wagner worked the dark match on main event recently as of this past Friday. So we will see what happens with that. You could see where WWE is and who they are getting ready for the main roster, as Carmelo Hayes is absolutely, after Halloween Havoc, getting the call up to Monday or Friday night. So we will see what happens with that. But as long as it makes sense, in this case, like Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, I'm okay with it. But I don't want it to become a regular thing. And finally, guys, Aaliyah. As if you guys give a shit about Aaliyah. Aaliyah was terrible. Aaliyah was basically a tag team with Smiley, Raquel Rodriguez, and Rodriguez was basically the entire team Where is Aaliyah and why is Raquel now teaming with Shotzi? Well, Aaliyah is sidelined with multiple injuries. In an Instagram post, she noted that she got injured midway through her last match. Not surprised because she's not really all that good. This was against Damage Control, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Aaliyah confirmed she suffered an elevated first rib and AC sprain. Rodriguez is now aligned with Shotzi on SmackDown, and Aaliyah is going to be out for a little bit with injuries. So that is the latest there for Aaliyah. If anybody was wondering where Aaliyah was, as if you miss Aaliyah, I don't think anybody misses Aaliyah at all on Friday night. Anyway, guys, that is all I got for you. Like I said, man, quick to the point. We got this extra out. I don't mind doing it like this. I think this is great. We had 2,100 people in the venue this afternoon for happy hour, and I appreciate you guys very much for hanging out with me. And we are going to go into the Super Chats. Thank you guys for the Super Chats. Thank you guys for the commitment to the VIP Club. You guys are great. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes minimum on today's OTS Extra. And make sure you guys get those Super Chats in. It is now last call in the venue until I see you guys for tonight's AEW Dynamite post show on Off the Script. Let's get into the top here, man. We're going to start off with Jason Ripper with a 2-month recommitment to the VIP Club, man. Yo, JD, just imagine a feud between Cody Rhodes and Bray Wyatt over the WWE Championship, man. I'm talking trilogies. Now, that would be effing great. Of course it would. Those two families, man, I like it. I like it, I like it, I like it. Cody is a great storyteller, man. I could imagine how great of a story he would tell with Wyndham, especially over a WWE title. Human Gaming with two $20 Super Chats. Thank you, Human Gaming. And he also becomes a new member to the OTS VIP Club, man. Thank you so much. What the fuck are you drinking, brother? Nick Williams with a $50 Super Chat. Nick Williams, you fucking beast. Thank you so much for these episodes the past few days. Recently, my dog passed away last Saturday, and these cheer me up in more ways than one, especially when you do the mighty... Nick Williams! Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the 50 in Super Chat. JC720 with a $2 Super Chat. Hey, JD, taking a much-needed work break. Happy hour. You know it, brother. Nothing wrong with happy. I may actually go into the bar downstairs, which I deem my mother's basement for the geeks online, if they only knew, and make myself an old-fashioned. Basic with a $9.99 Super Chat. Good stuff, JD. Always adding layers to the show. It is always welcome. Thank you, brother. Paul David Elliott with a 12-month membership. The Braves need to force the Phillies to use their bullpen early in order to go to Philly, even at one game apiece. Bro, I was disgusted by the game yesterday. I wouldn't be shocked if the Phillies end up winning the series. Whatever the case may be, man. I got mine last year. That's all that matters to me. That's all that matters to me. But we got Mr. Right going today for 21 wins. So they need to strike early and maintain that, man. The Braves actually played better in innings 6 through 9 than they did in the first half. A lot of mistakes. Last night. Not good. JC720 with a $2 Super Chat. Thank you, brother. Hey, JD, taking a much-needed work break. Happy hour. Cody Snyder, 6 months. Thank you, bro. Justin with a 3-month recommitment to the VIP club. 2 months going strong as an OTS VIP member. And there's a chance that Game 2 doesn't get played due to weather, but hopefully they do. Go Braves, OTS for life. The game should have started by now, man. Is there a weather delay? It is delayed. I don't know if that's going to be good, man. I think the 5-day layoff actually hurt the Braves, to be honest with you. And the rainout might actually, the rainout might actually help them because the Phillies have been hot. So we will see. Shell Joan with a 6-month membership. What's up, JD? What's up, man? Wilhelm Hendrik Fullard with a 23-month membership. Oh, my goodness. Love you, JD. Thank you for the best 23 months as a member. And here's to another 23 months. And another will always support you, brother. Thank you, brother. You got a gold microphone coming to you soon. And you guys know the deal, man. Those emotes, you got a 36-month and a 48-month membership. It's coming. Thank you, brother. Basic with a $9.99. Thank you so much, brother, again, for the $9.99 and the great comment. Sean Ray J with a 3-month membership. Yo, Marky D, tell JD I'm a depressed wrestling fan. LOL. He knows why, but jokes aside, keep up the good work. Much love. Thank you, Sean Ray J. Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. JD, which has a better chance of happening? You reviewing Impact Wrestling or Triple H rehiring Ryback? OTS for life, brother. I have a better chance of running into Thunder Rosa, asking her out for afternoon tacos and a couple of margaritas. I got a better shot at that happening than me reviewing Impact or Triple H rehiring Cryback. Yee XC1X with a new membership. Thank you, brother. Raging Girl Gamer. Oh, my goodness. With a $99.99. So I don't mean to shortchange you. $99.99 super chat. She says, give me Omos versus Wyatt. Omos can definitely put Wyatt even more over. Also, I miss Charlotte Flair. This women's division isn't the same with that. Listen, Otis. Otis, listen, bro. You gotta keep an eye on who to flag at the bar. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, man. I may have to get the cops on the phone. I may have to get the cops on the phone, man. Rage, this is inexcusable. It's inexcusable. You gave 100 to Jesse. Oh, my God. Get her out. Get him out. Now, we love Rage here, man. Simply the Pope with a 7-month membership. Glad to be part of the community and loving the Triple H era. Oh, yes. 7 months. Thank you, brother. 248 Radio with a 3-month membership. I got your back. Thank you, bro. FGC Hitman with a $20 super chat. I appreciate the hard work you put in. Can I get a classic Bray Wyatt impersonation about JoJo's fat ass, man? Lord Quaz with a $5 super chat. WWE just trademarked Uncle Harper and Uncle Howdy. Could be Vincent and Dutch. Really now? Where did you get that news from? Where did you get that news from, bro? That is interesting. Please tell me where you got that from, man. I'd be very curious to know about that for sure. We may be looking at a new Wyatt family, man. Susan D'Ambrosio with a $5 super chat. Just wanted to show some love to the ace of the IWC. Also, Rage, we got to talk. We don't need Charlotte and Omos on our TVs. Why do you want to punish us? Got that from Fightful, huh? I don't know. We will see. Chris Murray with a $2 super chat. God bless you, JD. Enjoy your vacation. Thank you, Chris. Grimsley with a $5 super chat. Did you see Meltzer immediately attack Bray for his weight? Yes, I did. He thinks he looks way worse than how he was pretty much. Can't stand Meltzer. Yeah, I mean, bro, if that's the one thing he's focusing on, then Meltzer with a huge L over his head on that one. Tyler with a $4.99 super chat. Hopefully Sasha Banks returns to WWE soon. Also, Mia Yim is a free agent. Do you see her returning to WWE or going to AEW with her husband? That's something that Mia Yim and Keith Lee are going to have to discuss, man, because I do think that at the end of his deal, Keith Lee is going back to WWE. Sal DeReese with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, big fan. I just saw WWE just filed trademarks for Uncle Howdy and Uncle Brody. Howdy was in the URL of the latest QR code on Raw. It may be looking more and more like this is a thing now, bro. Cody Snyder with a $5 super chat. I'm anxious to see Cody interact with Drew McIntyre as well. JD, thanks for helping with the day-to-day stress, bud. Keep rocking it. Thank you so much, man. Roderick Berry with a $5 super chat. Sorry to disturb you, my tribal chief of the IWC. What do you think of Meiko Satomura in dream matches on Raw and SmackDown? Only if it makes sense. I think Meiko was great. Hollywood Guy with a $10 super chat. Now that Bray is back with his great entrance, what's going to happen to Cody? Will he come back with the same vigor? Or is Bray going to win the belt from Roman? I have no idea, bro. But Roman is on SmackDown. Bray is on SmackDown. Cody's on Raw. So Cody and Bray are not going to have a thing with each other. They will not be crossing paths in any which way. Also with a $10 super chat, Cody Snyder. Also, has anyone here watched Sheamus's Celtic Warrior workouts? They help me with my workouts for sure. Some of my favorite episodes are with Drew McIntyre and Tommaso. Insightful and motivational. He's got a great YouTube channel over there, man. I like it. Sheamus is just killing it. He really is. And Justin with a $1.99 super chat. Braves game is expected to start at 7:30, 7:45 p.m. during Dynamite. Fuck, man. I was hoping to watch the game before we get to Dynamite. Impact, SM, I see your comment, bro. Impact sucks, bro. You will never hear Impact on this channel ever, man. You want to go watch Impact reviews? Go watch Fightful review it in front of 70 fucking people every week. Not my deal. I'd go to bed depressed if that was me. Fuck out of here. OMG, it's Scotty Baller with a $4.99 super chat. Who do you think is going to be in the Wyatt 6? I think my mother is going to be in Wyatt 6. She's going to be playing Sister Abigail. I don't know, bro. It could be anybody. I'm going to be in the Wyatt 6. Jesse could be in the Wyatt 6, dressed as Taco Man. And Tommy Brannigan with a $5 super chat. Enjoy your trip to Ireland this week, JD. Safe travels. Thank you, Tommy. Hank R. Hill with a $1.99 super chat. JD uses propane instead of charcoal. I'll tell you what. You are wrong, bro. I actually use a little bit of both. Some days I use propane, some days I use charcoal, bro. I do prefer charcoal, though. Can't beat that, man. You can't beat the taste of a great barbecue with some fucking charcoal. Anyway, guys, I'm about to get out of here, man. we had a great show. I actually quite enjoy this, man. I may actually do this a little bit more often. To be quite honest with you, man, I may do this a little bit more often. I like that it's you know, a couple of days go by instead of doing the videos and uploading them, right? I think more people enjoy the live streams than they do a sit-down video, right? So, it is what it is, man. Happy hour, quick to the point, get your news across, and that's it. Anyway, guys, Jesse and I will be live tonight for AEW Big Show in Toronto. Off the Script, live tonight, 10:20 p.m. Be there. And we'll have everything for you coming out of tonight's AEW Dynamite post show. Remember to hit that thumbs up, guys. I need 1,000 likes minimum. Thank you for the incredible support today, this afternoon for the Super Chats. Hit that thumbs up, like I said. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. We just hit 138,000 on YouTube. Thank you guys very much. And go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. Guys, I'll see you tonight with Jesse. And we'll be back tonight for the main event right here for the AEW Dynamite post show on Off the Scripts. I'll see you guys later.